Before we begin, I have just one request. Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and let the world outside fade away. Because some stories aren't just meant to be heard, they're meant to be felt. Every whisper, every breath, every sound behind you might not be just in the story. So, are you ready? Let's begin. The House That Whispers. They told me not to go back. They told me to leave the past buried, but I was never good at listening. The invitation came in the form of a letter. No stamp, no sender, just my name. Eleanor Gray, scrawled in a faded ink I hadn't seen since childhood. I found it wedged between the cracks of my apartment door, brittle and yellowed like it had waited decades to be read. Inside, only 6 words: come home. The house remembers you. I knew which house. I had spent every summer there until I was 10, before the fire, before the tragedy, before my family refused to speak of what happened, before Aunt Miriam disappeared. It was a Victorian relic on the outskirts of Ravenshade, a town so small it wasn't even on most maps. The locals called it the Crooked House, not just because of its slanted roof and leaning walls, but because it had a reputation. Bad things happened in that house, things with no explanation, things that twisted people. But curiosity, as always, was stronger than caution. So I went back. The moment my car crossed the Ravenshade Bridge, I felt it. An unnatural quiet. No birds. No wind, just the low groan of my tires over cracked pavement and the echo of my breath in my chest. The house stood at the end of a long gravel road, half swallowed by the forest. Time had not been kind to it. The shutters were barely hanging on, the porch was rotted, and ivy curled like veins across its surface. But the door was open. Not ajar. Open, like it had been waiting. I stepped inside, and the air hit me. Stale, cold, and heavy with rot. The kind of smell that clings to your skin, no matter how much you scrub. I half expected to find the house abandoned, but instead, everything was still preserved. Like someone had been living here. Or worse, never stopped. Dust coated every surface except a single narrow path through the center of the house, as if something or someone still walked those floors. I told myself I'd only stay a night, just long enough to find out who sent the letter. That night, I slept, or tried to, in my old bedroom. The wallpaper was the same faded rose pattern I remembered, but the room felt smaller, suffocating. The bed creaked under my weight like it didn't recognize me. I left the lamp on. At 2:17 a.m., I woke to whispering, soft, hushed voices like children sharing secrets behind my door. I froze. They weren't voices I recognized. I tiptoed to the door and pressed my ear against it. The whispers stopped, replaced by something else. Breathing, deep, ragged, hungry breathing. It was just inches from the other side. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I tried calling out. Cell signal didn't exist in Ravenshade. The landline was dead. Even the radio spat, only static. I wandered the house, searching for signs of whoever might have invited me here. Instead, I found memories. My old toys, half melted from the fire. Aunt Miriam's perfume bottle, still full, the scent stale and pungent. A photo of her on the mantel, eyes scratched out, but no sign of her. Not alive, not dead. I ventured into the attic. The door was nailed shut, but curiosity dug deeper than fear. I pried it open, coughing through the dust as I climbed up into the dark. It was colder there, much colder, and darker, like the light didn't want to exist in that space. In the center of the attic, I found a trunk. Inside, bones. Small, brittle, charred bones. And a doll, blackened by fire, its glass eyes intact. Watching me. Something whispered behind me. I turned. No one there, but the doll had moved. Its head tilted, its smile wider. I left the attic and nailed it shut behind me. That night, the whispers returned, but this time they were inside the room. I sat upright, heart pounding, eyes darting through the darkness. The whispers weren't just voices now. They were words. My name. Eleanor. It came from the corner of the room where the shadows were thickest. I turned on the lamp. Nothing. But the wallpaper had changed. Where once were faded roses, now were faces. Screaming, howling, twisted faces. I ran to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. When I looked up, the mirror didn't reflect me. It showed a girl, a younger me, standing in the house, surrounded by fire, and behind her Aunt Miriam, smiling as the flames danced around them. Then the mirror shattered. I should have left. Every instinct screamed for me to leave. But the house, it pulled me in. Every time I tried to leave, the road outside twisted. The trees shifted. I'd end up right back at the front porch, trapped. I began hearing footsteps above me, in the walls. Sometimes I'd see glimpses, reflections that weren't mine, shadows that didn't belong to anything living. And the doll. I kept finding it, in my bed, on the dining table, once inches from my face when I woke up, always smiling, always watching. 3 days in, I found the journal, hidden under a loose floorboard in the library, wrapped in leather and bound with twine. Aunt Miriam's handwriting. The entries began normal, recipes, garden notes, poems. But then they changed. She wrote of voices, of things in the house that whispered at night, of dreams filled with fire and teeth and endless screaming. She spoke of the Hollow One, an ancient presence buried beneath the house, awakened by tragedy, fed by grief. It whispered promises of eternal life. If only she'd offer it something or someone. Her last entry chilled me. Open quote. Eleanor is the key. Her blood is old, older than even the Hollow One. If I give her, the house will be mine, forever. Close quote. That night was the worst. I barricaded the door, lit every candle I could find. The whispers became screams. The house groaned, the walls bled, the doll walked. Yes, walked. Its tiny limbs cracking, bending the wrong way, twitching as it scuttled toward me. I smashed it again and again, but in the morning it was whole, waiting. That was the morning I saw Aunt Miriam, standing at the edge of the forest, half burned, eyes black as tar, smiling. I confronted her, or what was left of her. You died, I whispered. You burned. She tilted her head. I was chosen. Her voice was not hers. It echoed, many voices layered into one. The house remembered you. The Hollow One remembers. She reached out, but I ran, into the woods, through the trees, no direction, just away. But Ravenshade is not a place you escape. It is a place that holds you. I tripped, fell, and when I opened my eyes, I was back at the house. The front door wide open, the doll on the porch. I'm still here. I don't know how many days have passed. Time bends here. Sometimes it's night forever. Sometimes the clocks run backward. I've tried everything, burning the house, smashing the windows, tearing the walls. It always rebuilds. It always heals. It feeds on me, on fear, on pain, on memory. The whispers have grown louder. Now they speak in my voice. They tell me things. They tell me I was never meant to leave, that I never did. They tell me I died in that fire all those years ago, and that everything since has been the dream of a dead girl. But I don't believe them. Do I? I hear footsteps now. Someone new. They've arrived. Maybe they got the letter too. Maybe the house remembers them. Maybe the Hollow One is hungry again. I watch from the attic, the doll in my lap, smiling with me. The house always remembers, and soon, so will you.